My name is Olivia Kreidler, and this is my informative speech. Okay, so I'm willing to bet that a large majority of you have used antibiotics at some point in your lifetime to rid some type of infection. So how would you feel if I told you that antibiotics are at risk for no longer working against these common infections? According to the World Health Organization, antibiotic resistance refers to the resistance of a bacterium to an antibiotic drug that was once effective for treatment against an infection involving this bacterium. As a biochemistry major, I've taken several courses that have addressed the growing issue of antibiotic resistance and have since taken an interest in researching this topic. So today I'm going to tell you about the consequences and causes of antibiotic resistance, and then touch on some tips for preventative measures of preventing the spread of antibiotic resistance. So first, let's talk about what antibiotic resistance could mean to you. So what are the consequences of antibiotic resistance? First, this can mean that if an infection becomes resistant to the antibiotic, that now there's limited options for treatment, or in some cases there's no options for treatment. Secondary treatments, additionally, are sometimes more expensive than the primary, which is why they're secondary, and oftentimes they're also less effective. So now that we've addressed some of the consequences, let's talk about some of the causes of antibiotic resistance. So generally speaking, how does antibiotic resistance even occur? You'll have a high number of bacteria that are resistant to the antibiotics, with some being that are not resistant to it. Or the majority are resistant to it, some of them are not, and they can outgrow the population that aren't over time. So according to Green Facts, the main causes of antibiotic resistance is due to the misuse of antibiotics by both the doctor and healthcare professionals as well as the patient. So on the part of the healthcare professionals, according to the CDC, 50% of antibiotic prescriptions in the outpatient setting are improperly prescribed. And this refers to giving them for infections that cannot be cleared with antibiotics. So that could include viral or fungal infections. Antibiotics are only effective against bacterial infections. So you could come in with a common cold and they could just say, well, it might be strep throat, so we'll just give you this. Additionally, on the patient side, is not taking the antibiotic as directed by your doctor, which includes the time of day or anything like that, but also the full dosage, the full length of the time that you're supposed to take it. So you might say, hey, I feel better, I'm not going to carry out the rest of it, but in reality that's actually hurting you. So now that we've addressed some of the causes, let's talk about some of the actions we can take to prevent the spread of antibiotic resistance. So first and foremost, we want to do preventative measures of infection. So we want to have good hygiene, just try to prevent infection in general. And so that's the first step. Also, you want to ensure that your doctor does a proper test to determine the causative agent of your infection. So you want to make sure that they're prescribing antibiotics because they have determined that it's a bacterial infection instead of viral or something like that. Additionally, we want to take antibiotics as directed by your healthcare professional, which includes the directions, the time of day, whether you have to take that with food or not, in addition to taking it for the full duration of the time. And so you don't want to ever save something and say, well, maybe I'll get strep throat again later or something like that. You want to take it for the full duration of the time, even if you feel better, and don't share with others. So although that antibiotic resistance is an increasing issue, there is things that we can do to prevent the spread of it. So today I described the consequences and causes of antibiotic resistance, and I gave some tips on some preventative measures for the spread of antibiotic resistance. So now that you've learned the importance of antibiotic resistance, I hope that you think twice next time your doctor prescribes you an antibiotic, and you think twice about how you use it in the full duration of the cycle of the antibiotic.